butter tiger, peanut butter tiger, peanut butter tiger, peanut butter tiger, podcast, 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 peanut butter tiger, 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 peanut butter. The Peanut Butter Tiger Podcast. Peanut butter tiger, peanut butter tiger, peanut butter tiger, peanut butter tiger, podcast, 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 peanut butter tiger, 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 podcast.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the mighty Peanut Butter Tiger Podcast. I am your host, the plus-size podcast prince, the neon ninja, Calamity Dan, Only Dan's, Danimal, Danaconda, Dandelion, Dan of the people, Dan and a half, Dan and then some, Dan I am, Dan I can, beer can Dan, cartwheel karate kick Dan. I actually thought of another one too, because fuck. Losing East Van Dan was a blow, dude. If you listen to the earlier podcasts, I always started it out, I am your host, East Van Dan. Like that, it rolled off the tongue and everything's so nice. Started my whole show like that. So then when I moved to Sask, it was fuck, man. I had to relearn how to start the show. It doesn't sound like a big thing, but it turned out to be a big thing, is all I'm saying. And I'm fuck. And then I was sitting around the other day, smoking blades. My place smelled like incense, just hanging in the air, dude. I get these incense sticks, and it's compressed incense, and they sell you a little stone holder that you put the fucking incense in. There's no wood. It's not a normal incense stick. It's thick like a cigarette, about the same size as a cigarette, and you just put it in this little stone holder, and you light it up, and it's a hot box of incense smoke. And then you can smoke weed, you can fucking do whatever you want, but boom, you're good in the hood. I've talked about incense before. Love it for smoking weed in your place. Anyway, so I'm sitting around in a haze of marijuana and incense smoke, and all of a sudden, like a bolt of lightning piercing the clouds, a new name hit me, dude. The Thrill from Martinsville. Woo! Listen to that fucking name. The Thrill from Martinsville. God, that's good, man. Figured it out, dude. That one's got the same electricity. But boom, plugged it in. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you practice and just work on something for so long, it'll just come to you. It'll just the electricity will just strike you at the oddest moments. And, luckily I was right beside a notebook to fucking write that down. But boom, The Thrill from Martinsville. Love it, dude. I love little sayings like that. I was sitting around watching skate videos. I had a rare moment this weekend where my stepson, my daughters were busy. My 13-year-old was talking on the phone with her friends. And my 9-year-old was in her room playing toys. That's fine. And I was sitting there with my stepson. He's like, let's watch skateboards. And I was like, yes, dude, let's watch skateboards. So I downloaded a podcast. I downloaded a 9 Club. I want to start listening to the 9 Club. They're a skateboard podcast. They have a bunch of pros that come through, sounds dope. And I looked at the video parts. that they were talking about, and I watched them all on Thrasher with my stepson. It's like, oh, that's awesome. Like 3 parts, peeped them all, so I can be like in the know of what they're talking about. And we ended up watching this Toy Machine Vaccine, which came out a couple of months ago. I watched it when it was new, but I went back and rewatched it, and it was fucking dope, man. Love Toy Machine. Love that. That's like such an iconic brand to me. That's my favorite skateboard brand, I would have to say. Like Toy Machine is fucking, there's others, like I really like Shorties is sick. I really liked Zero when I was coming up. I skated a lot of like shop decks and blank decks. I had a maple. That was my first like real deck, was a maple. And then I skated a blind, which was sick. But like nothing hits like Toy Machine to me. That's my favorite. So we go back and we rewatch Vaccine. Dope video, highly suggested. And they clip, this dude has a shirt. And I don't think it's a Toy Machine shirt. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm sounding like an idiot. But this guy's shirt said, "Have a blast while you last." Oh, you fucking hear that shit? Have a blast while you last? Is that not words to live by? Could you not just fucking get like a tattoo of that on your fucking forehead and just like, make it look like eyebrows? Make it look like one big eyebrow until you get close and you see "Have a blast while you last." Boom. Just to remind yourself. Like, that's such good advice, dude. That's so dope. That's fucking electricity. Have a blast while you last. Yes. Yes. Sometimes I see sayings like that, and it like literally affects like my whole shit after. You know what I mean? You get around people and they say something like super inspiring, you know what I mean? It happens all the time, like on podcasts and shit. Somebody says something and it's like, whoa. And then for like the next like fucking 9 months, you're just buzzing with electricity. It's wonderful. So thank you, Toy Machine, for fucking throwing up that Vaccine video and have a blast while you last. Sick. There's some dope parts. It's cool to see chicks skating too. Like that one I really like watching with my daughters. And be like, see, chicks shred. Chicks are fucking cool too at skating and shit, man. It's not just dudes. You know what I mean? Not that they're going to skate. Like my 9-year-old daughter, she's like straight up gymnastics, killing it now. And, the 13-year-old, she's just, she's doing her own thing. She's 13. Anyway, what the fuck is good, man? It's Sunday night. This is the Sunday podcast. We got an exciting episode coming up for you, man. Fucking stoked about it. Love that shit, dude. You guys probably listen to this on Monday, though. I would imagine this would be like a Monday morning podcast, possibly. I would never call it that. You could never call it the Monday morning podcast. That name's taken. But, that's probably when you listen to it. So what's up, man? Start of the week. Let's start it strong. You know what I mean? How was the fucking weekend, dude? I went to Cabela's this weekend. Oh, Cabela's. Before all this crazy shit happened in my life, like when I was like, between the ages, I started fishing when I was like 17, 16 maybe, and I fished all the way up to 25 and I got into it. Like, fuck, if you were around like anywhere in Saskatchewan, like I went and got like the fucking magazines, did all the research. I would like follow the fucking walleye tournament, and they have a stop in Tobin Lake. So I'd go fishing up in Tobin Lake, which is by like Nipawin. Up north in Saskatchewan. They're beautiful, dude. And the fish, it's called like world record walleye caught through the ice. Came from Nipawin Lake. Huge. It was like 18-pound walleye. Ridiculous. Fucking wonderful fishing up there. And I would go up there, like me and the father-in-law and like, some people from work, or just me and people from work would go up there, and we'd fucking in November, and we'd go and catch fish. October, November, right when the fucking tour was coming through, and it was amazing, dude. It was fucking absolutely amazing. Seeing like tournament fishers, like fucking, like professional fishermen just fucking fishing. Oh, primo, love that shit. So I didn't fish the whole time I was in Vancouver, the whole time I was in BC. Like I didn't know it's a completely different fish out there. You're fishing for like trout and salmon. Whereas where I was from, I'm fishing for like walleye basically. You know, some trout, but mostly walleye and perch. That's what you're after. Throwing away jackfish. Don't want a fucking jackfish. Yuck. Anyway, decided this year we're gonna fucking get back into fishing. Get the kids all some fishing rods, man. Went to Cabela's. It's awesome. Cabela's is like it's like Bass Pro Shops. But like fucking to me it's better. I love Cabela's, dude. Went and got everybody fishing rods. We were all like practicing casting and shit like that in the yard. Like the girls, like, you know, because like my 9-year-old, I don't think she ever went fishing. You know, I took the 13-year-old fishing when she was young. Like she caught a fish once. Oh, it was so cute. She was like probably like 5 years old. And she'd gone fishing with me a couple of times, and I had her own rod and everything, and she could cast really good and reel and everything, like knew about hook safety. So we're fishing by the Warman Ferry, just off the shore, and she casts out, and she's like, "Oh, I caught a fish." She's reeling it in, and I'm like, I look at the end of her line, you could kind of see it. She's like reeling it in fast, so it was up at the surface, and it just looked like weeds. And I was like, "Oh, buddy, I think that's just weeds." And when it got close, it was like you know, it gets like 10 feet away. You could see all of a sudden there was a big pike on the end of it, like probably like, you know, 5-pound pike, which is pretty big, not bad for a river fish, dude. Come on, that's fucking primo. And I'm like, "Oh, you caught a fish, that's awesome." And she's reeling it in, and it was dead still. It looked like it was dead. And then it got to like 3 feet away from us, and it rolled up on its side, and then it started freaking out. That's when it started fighting. It started twitching and flailing, and my daughter got scared, and she started running. She turns around and starts running the other way, but she didn't drop the rod. She was holding the rod like straight up in the air with the reel, and she was dragging this fish across the ground. Like she pulled the fish out of the water, and it slammed into a rock. Hook ripped out of its mouth. It's fucking hilarious, man. That fucking made me laugh, dude. That fucking made me laugh. So, yeah, we're going to get back into it, man. It's going to be awesome, dude. Going to go next weekend, you know, go up to the lake, get some fish, dude. Got that grill, have a shore lunch, man. Oh, boy, is so Saskatchewan now. Going to be a fucking outdoorsman, man. You might see me next November, just like fucking, you might see me, but you won't see me. Because I'm wearing head to toe camo. Just joking, man. You know, like people, like, I don't mind like seeing the odd person like wear a camo hat. Or wear a camo sweater if you want. But you better hunt. You better be a hunter if you're wearing camo. You better either be like right out of the military and they haven't fucking given you normal clothes yet to go home in. Or you better be fucking actively hunting something to be wearing like more than fucking 2 pieces of camo. You know what I mean? Sometimes you see dudes walk around in like full camo suits around here, and you ask them like, what are you doing? It's not even hunting season. What the fuck is going on, man? It's crazy. I hate to sound so nitpicky, but that's, you know, that's part of what this fucking podcast is about, is nitpicking people who wear too much fucking camo. By now, we all know what's up with the fucking tiger, man. You know, I have good intentions. Try to inspire people to work out, lift weights, stop doing hard drugs and shit. You know what I mean? Maybe inspire you to take some acid and fucking smoke some weed and shit. You know, but I talk a lot of shit here. I've talked shit about a bunch of bands or things I don't like, and why change it now? You know, I was thinking about this topic because I know cats like this. I interact with cats like this, and I love cats that rock this shit. That's the idea of the podcast. Like, I'll make fun of shit, but if you, like, you know, if you fucking rollerblade or you longboard, and you listen to this podcast, and you stop rollerblading or longboarding, then you suck. Keep on doing your thing. This isn't for you. But, I will say, dudes that wear cologne, or a ton of jewelry. Like, I'm talking fucking a ton of jewelry. I don't know, dude. I feel some sort of way about that. Like, that shit doesn't impress me at all. It does the exact opposite. You know, like a bracelet's fine, I suppose. A wedding ring for sure. Wear a wedding ring. That's awesome. Even a necklace. Like, if you got a little chain with, like, you know, St. Peter's on it or fucking whatever, that's okay. That's fine, I suppose. But if you got like dog tags, if you like walk around wearing dog tags and you never been in the military, I don't know what to say to you. Earrings, I suppose. But hoops? What's worse than seeing a dude with like a fucking hoop earring? You ever seen that shit before? I do. I see that shit. Sometimes I see people with like 2 earrings and they'll have a stud and a hoop. I don't know what it is, dude. It just bothers me when you see a cat just rocking a bunch of jewelry. Like, yo, if you're a SoundCloud rapper, that's fine. If you're a rock star, whatever then. You know what I mean? But, like, if you're rocking more than a watch, I don't know what to say to you, man. I feel bad. I know, like, my one homie, the young Cybernetty, the young Janetti. I love you, dude. If you're listening to this and you're like, fuck Dan. I'm just fucking around, man. You know what I mean? This cat is like fucking rocks jewelry, like Nike chains and dope shit all the time. Love it. Keep on doing your thing, pal. But everybody else, I don't know. I feel some sort of way about it. You know what I mean? It's just fucking funny, dude. And the hoop earrings, my God. My God. Could you imagine anything worse than a dude wearing hoop earrings who's not a pirate? Who's not a genie? And like the cologne too, right? Like, fuck, dude. I work like, there's a dude that, like, I don't work with him. He's on a different crew. He's his own thing. But I bump into him sometimes. And I'll see my man. He's a drywaller. And I'll see my man at like fucking 2 o'clock on a Tuesday. 2 o'clock like in the afternoon on a Tuesday at work, covered in drywall. Walk into his house and it smells like fucking Studio 54 in there, dude. It smells like a fucking nightclub, man. I'm like, what the fuck? It smells like an Axe commercial in there. Like, what are you doing? Who is that for? I know I've said it on the podcast before, dude, but who the fuck is that for, man? What are you doing? It just makes me feel some sort of way about you. Just like if you're rocking like a ton of jewelry. And I had homies, like I had people like, not homies, I'm not going to call them homies, but I had people like, I'd bump into in Vancouver and shit, and they'd be showing me like Versace chains and shit. Like, oh, look at this, it's dope. Look at my dope rings. Fuck your rings, dude. Who wears jewelry? Who the fuck wears jewelry? I just don't understand that. Like, yo, my daughter, I went to my girl's house on Friday. We have like pizza and movie night. It's fun. It's a good time. But I walk in the door and it's like, there's like a funny energy in there. I'm like, yo, what's up, guys? And they're like, Dad, glad you came home. And my girlfriend has like one of these cordless Dyson vacuum cleaners. It's pretty dope. Like, it's like a Bluetooth vacuum. Just like wireless, motherfucker. Ripping around this vacuum, and the suction is incredible. So I guess there was a wasp in the house. And my daughter vacuumed it up. Vacuumed the fucking wasp in the Dyson. This Cyclone fucking Dyson thing. And they could see there's like a clear spot where all the junk goes, where all the garbage goes. And they could see in there. And the fucking wasp was flying around in there. I was like, oh shit, really? For real? And I take a look at the vacuum. Couldn't see anything in the vacuum. I was like, okay. So I took the fucking vacuum outside. And, okay. Who am I? The guy that invented Dyson? You know what I mean? Who am I? Molly Maids over here? I don't know how to fucking work these vacuums. I never seen a vacuum like this before. It doesn't have a cord on it. So I'm like fucking around trying to press these buttons, trying to open the fucking thing, and it just spills out all over the deck. Just dust and dog hair and girl hair. Like there's like, 3 ladies in that house and fucking 3 dogs. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of hair in there, right? And it goes all over the deck. I'm like, oh, okay. Fucking look around. I picked up this wad of hair and I thought maybe the wasp was in it. I'm kind of like sifting through the wad of hair. I'm like, nope, that's not in there. Okay, gross. So I fucking go throw the wad of hair out, and I come back and I fucking look at the dust pile, and there's this wasp doing push-ups looking at me. I shit you not. This wasp gave me a look like, what? As soon as I get this dust off me, I'm going to sting you too, motherfucker. I was like, oh, shit. I fucking grabbed some paper because this is a tough-ass wasp. This is a fucking tough wasp. To survive getting sucked up by a fucking Dyson vacuum cleaner and then chilling out for like 2 hours in the fucking sun on the deck in a fucking Dyson vacuum cleaner, all full of dust and shit, and it didn't die, and it's staring at me like it's gonna fucking sting me. I went and grabbed paper, and I like put it on a bush. I was like, here you live, you fucking wasp, you. You know what I mean? When I was like, you know, back when I was like, you know, with my kids full time, like before all the divorce and all this crazy nonsense, my daughter was like 3 or 4, and she got stung by a wasp, and right in the spring she gets stung, and she was like really scared of wasps, and I was like, yo, you don't got to be scared of wasps. So we started killing wasps in all sort of ways. Like we were painting a fence once, and there's a wasp rolled up on us, and I hit it with a paintbrush, and it fell on the ground. It was all painted. It couldn't fly. And then my daughter walked up and stepped on it. You know what I mean? We would fucking shoot wasps out of the air with water guns. We would just slap them and smack them out of the air and stomp on them all the time. Like wasps, fuck wasps, you know what I mean? But this wasp that survived the fucking Dyson vacuum cleaner, you live. You go on with yourself, man. You're doing push-ups after you get sucked up in a fucking Dyson, dude. It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous, dude. You know, one time, like, when I first moved out with my girl, I was like 15 when we moved out. We got these fucking, we had a party one night, and we bought these beta fish, these Siamese fighting fish, and we fought the fish. That was like the draw of the party. You know, some people have like cock fights, or some people have dog fights, like Michael Vick and them. Over in fucking 7th Street in Saskatoon in 2004 or 5, we had a fish fight. So these 2 beta fish start fucking tearing at each other, dude. They're going at it. And one of them, of course, murks the other one. One of them fucking destroyed the other one. Okay. What are we going to do with this live fish? Flush it down the toilet. It's fucked up. It's not going to live. Fucking flush the fish down the toilet. That fucking fish swam back up from the toilet. Came in there later to go for a piss. And there's a fish. Same thing. Doing push-ups in the toilet bowl. Like, what, motherfucker, you leg-having bitch? If I could fucking get out of here, I'd fuck you up. So I took that fish, I scooped him out of the toilet, put him back in the bowl, filled it up with water. There you go, had a beta fish. That fucking fish deserves to live. That whole situation just made me laugh, man, with a wasp. So I took the wasp, put it back on a bush. And I was thinking, like, if I was wearing cologne, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. If I was wearing a bunch of jewelry, would I do that? I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's the same type of person. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's the same fucking type of person. Like, you know, my daughter got a hamster. And first thing she tells me is like, yo, if it dies or something, like, you'll take care of it. Yes. Yes, I will. That's what I do. That's the fucking job of a dad. You know what I mean? And maybe that's why, like, primordially, I'm just fucking against, like, wearing a bunch of jewelry and smelling like cologne. You know, there's this fucking great comedian called Brian Callen. Everybody go check Brian Callen out. He's fucking incredible. He got canceled a while back for like something stupid. It was all rumor and bullshit. But, you know, he's making a comeback now. He's fucking hilarious because he didn't do anything wrong, right? Like the whole Me Too thing, like, yeah, there was like valid people that got caught up in that. And it's good that they got fucked up, like Harvey Weinstein and like all sorts of people. But then like the Me Too's got ridiculous and were completely unfounded. So Brian Callen gets canceled and he's hilarious. Love that guy. You can check him out on Rogan episodes, Joe Rogan episodes. He's fucking hilarious. I love that guy. He was saying like dudes are like predisposed not to like men with jewelry and shit because like in hunting parties, if you were like in a pack trying to go hunt some mammoth or hunt some elk, and if somebody showed up jingling and jangling with jewelry or showed up smelling of cologne, then they fucking wouldn't be able to hunt. You'd scare off the animal. You know what I mean? And I happen to agree with that. I think that's a very sound theory, and I see no reason against it. I see fucking no reason against it, dude. Anyway, on with the show. The Thrill from Martinsville, dude. Still love that fucking name. That's amazing. You know, I'm starting to feel at home here, too. My local Popeyes. Not the chicken place. The supplement place. The vitamin store. The place where I go every 2 weeks and get fucking protein and creatine and vitamin C and vitamin D, all these fucking things. They know me by name now. They're like, yo, what's up, Dan? Gangbusters. That's awesome. I have an account there. They ask my name so often, but boom, now they know me. What's up? What's up, boys? how we getting healthy today. So that's good, man. That's good. Feeling at home. You know, it's more chill in the suburbs. I kind of miss the freaks, though, a little bit. You know, people you would fucking run into in like big cities, man. Fucking hilarious. One time, you know, I worked as a drywaller like this whole time. You know, I've always been a drywaller, and in Vancouver, I would meet the boys at Commercial and Broadway, the SkyTrain station, and we would meet there and like all regroup because, like, you know, I lived in East Van, the Peanut Butter Tiger lived in South Van, and then the mighty Mudmaster Mike lived in New West. So you know, we'd all like converge, meet up at fucking Commercial and Broadway and SkyTrain from there, transit to the fucking job site. So when you're kicking it at a SkyTrain at like 6:30 in the morning, you see like weird people. Like weird people come up and talk to you and shit, all this wildness. And one time, me and my boy Mike, we were standing around, and this dude comes up, this fucking crazy looking dude with like glasses. He was like my age, you know, like probably like early 30s, late 20s or so. Just dirty, this guy. He was fucking covered in soot. He looked like a chimney sweep or something. Like, I don't understand. Like, it was a comical amount of dust on this guy. He looked like that fucking Charlie Brown character, Pigpen. So fucking Pigpen comes up to us. He's like, you know, we're vaping. And he starts talking to us. He's like, yo, man, you know, how's it going, boys? And we're like, oh, yeah, it's good, man. He's like, yo, you guys are vaping? And we're like, yeah. He's like, yo, can I have a hit of that? Can I have a hit of your vape? I was like, no. Not at all, dude. And he's talking to us, and he's like, my name's Havoc. And I was like, what? And he's like, yo, my name's Havoc. I was like, Havoc? He's like, yeah. It's like, that's a hard name, dude. That's a fucking hard-ass name. Just ran into this dude named Havoc. Started talking to us for no reason. It's wildness, man. Wildness. The shit like that makes me fucking laugh. Shout out to Mudmaster Mike and my buddy Mountain Matt. They reminded me of that story, and I just thought I would tell it. I thought it was longer, though. I thought that story was longer. Has that ever happened to you? Like when you think you got a real good story, but then you can barely fucking remember it? Shit. Let's quickly move to a beat here, dude. Let's do some fucking wonders. How about that? Play that beat. Oh no, I fucked it up, dude. Oh no, I fucked it up. Hold on. Sorry, people. My Bluetooth speaker was off. Usually I fucking have it all ready to go. I fucked it up this time. Bring in the wonderance. Sorry, everybody. This is a segment called Wonderances. If you're new here to the Peanut Butter Tiger, anytime we play that beat, you know we're just going to be wondering things. And the things we wonder, like you could fucking Google these things if you want, you know. But I choose to just wonder. I choose to just sit around and wonder. Like my first wonder, I heard this podcast, they were talking about hieroglyphics. How they don't really know what those were about. They're like a language. They like write in pictures. And I was thinking like, what if let's say 5,000 years in the future, they come across a mall and they see all the logos everywhere. Are they going to think that they're fucking hieroglyphics? You know what I mean? Just think of like how much like, you know, think of like if like in the future or if like an alien came down to a mall and saw all the different fucking logos of all the different things, or like, you know, walked around downtown and saw all these different fucking logos and shit everywhere. Like they would think that that's hieroglyphics in writing, but really it's just logos. I don't know. Just made me think, like in the future, if they'll think like a mall is like some kind of pyramid. I wonder. My next wonder, I was there's no Starbucks in Martinsville. You believe that shit? I think they just opened one up, but it's like way in the outskirts of town. Like it's nowhere where you want to be. Like me, I want to get a Starbucks. I want to get a fucking Americano, sit on Main Street, sit on fucking Broadway, and like people watch. There's nowhere to do that here. That's fine. And I was telling the kids about Americanos, and you know, my daughter's like, "Oh, what's Americano?" And I was like, "It's an espresso they pour espresso in a cup and then they fill it up with hot water, to like cut it a little bit. Throw some cream in there, good in the hood. And then I started thinking, like, I wonder if they call it Americanos, like if Italians, because that's Italian. Espressos are Italian. I wonder if they like call it Americanos because it's like a weak, watered down. It's like adding if you're drinking whiskey but you add water. If you're drinking like straight whiskey and you add water, it's delicious. It's wonderful. That's how I drink whiskey, actually. It's it's the best, man. Love that shit. But it's just funny that they do that with coffee and then they call it Americanos. Like weak espresso to Italians are called Americanos. Is that some sort of diss? Up next, I got a dryer. I moved into a new place. Shared laundry. I live in a basement suite. I call it the basement suite. Anyway, my dryer. It's a fucking weird dryer, dude. It's got a setting for normal and then a setting for medium. And I wonder and then a setting for large. And I wonder which one or a setting normal, medium, and then no heat. That's the run-of-the-mill thing there. And I wonder like why they have a normal and a medium. Isn't that the same thing? Wouldn't it be like, hot, normal, no heat? Or hot, medium, no heat? You know what I mean? Why is it normal and medium? I don't know. I was just standing there for like 10 minutes looking at my dryer like, what the fuck is going on here? I've been switching back and forth and I can't fucking tell the difference between the two of them. I'll do one load on medium, one load on normal. I can't fucking tell what's going on here. I don't know. And then my last wonder. I saw somebody get a fucking credit card at the skate park. I went for a fat skate on Saturday, dude. Out to Warman. Shout out to the Warman skate park. That one's sick. And there was like a group of kids that showed up there. There were like, 9, 10, 11 around there. And they all showed up, 5 of them, on skateboards. And they were like making each other drop in to the big bowl. And they were like slamming on the ground and shit. And they were like making each other like go on this like little mini ramp and shit. They were like forcing each other to do tricks. And it was awesome. It's like, yes, man. And they were taking bails and they were skating and it looked awesome. I was like, that's great. That's great to see. And this kid fucking goes up. He like goes to do a fucking kickflip. There's like a pretty big bank. And he goes to do a kickflip on a bank. And he gets a credit card. The board stands straight up. And he lands and it fucking goes between his legs. And he lands with the fucking nose like on his gooch. On his taint. Just credit card. It's like, oh, shit. So I was telling my girl that after. And she's like, gross. I was like, I know. She's like, no, I hate the word gooch. I was like, well, then what, taint? And she's like, gross, I hate that word too. What's the medical word? And I was like, don't Google it. Don't fucking tell me if you Google it. I don't want to know. That's a good wonder. What is the medical name for gooch or taint? Can we get a doctor to call into the show? And those were wonderances, dude. There it was. Fucking wonderances. Alright, dude, just fucking rolling hard through this episode, man. That's right. Fuck up your life like a crack pipe. Shout out to Headshots, Rhyme Sayers. That was a dope song. Go check out that album if you've got time. Headshots. Primo. Rolling right along, dude. Let's bring in the fucking Twitter trends, man. Still no Wi-Fi up in the crib. Still using intern beats, but that's okay. That's how we fucking roll over here at the Tiger. Can't keep us down. We do this show with no Wi-Fi. We do this show with no host. We do this show from my fucking homie's living room. We do this show anywhere, man. That's what's going on. Speaking of what's going on, what is going on in the world today? What's going on in the world today? Well, we're gonna find out. In a very peanut buttery kind of way. exactly what the fuck is going on in the world today. With Twitter trends. That's right. Twitter trends. Oh yeah, cut that beat. Shout out to the mighty young Steve Jensen. We do it every episode. That guy sent me so much great content. How could I not? Love Steve Jensen. Sent me great interludes, which we can't access right now. You know what I mean? We'll get him back on the pod, no problems though. But talented musician. Love the mighty young Steve Jensen over here at the Peanut Butter Tiger, man. If you haven't checked out his music, you can check him out at stevejensenmusic.com. He's got all sorts of great merch, t-shirts, masks, stickers, albums, real albums, vinyl, dude. Order yourself some vinyl. Check out his music. It's incredible. It's amazing. You've heard his music on the Tiger, of course. You can find him at Spotify. Punch in Steve Jensen. Check him out on YouTube. Steve Jensen, Steve, the man behind the music. He's just hilarious. Love that guy. We're actually going to hear from him later on in the show. He sent me a great little bit that is copyrighted. So if you're listening around, you're an aspiring artist. Maybe you're a biter. Don't bite my man's music. Don't bite the ideas. But yeah, check him out. If you're listening to the Peanut Butter Tiger, why aren't you following me on Instagram at the Peanut Butter Tiger? You should be following the Facebook page if you have Facebook. Check out Peanut Butter Tiger on Facebook. Peanut Butter Tiger on Twitter. Just punch in Peanut Butter Tiger. Who are you going to see? Me. The Thrill from Martinsville himself. Chillin' dude on Twitter at Peanut Butter Tiger. You know, the cool thing about the Twitter feed is we just retweet all the stories we see on Twitter. So if you hear something that you're like, I don't know about that, I fucking retweeted the article, dude. You read it for yourself and make up your own mind. You know what I mean? You can also email me, eastvandan88@outlook.com. If you got some good Tiger mail, you got some good suggestions for the show, maybe you know what's good. We're still doing the what's good seggy, but, you know, we did a lot of stuff. I was going to do today's about like stretching, how good fucking stretching is for you in the morning. But the podcast is just rolling, dude. I don't know if we got time for that. Anyway, we need your fucking help to keep these seggies alive, dude. Hit me with some wonderances. Hit me with some critiques. You know what I mean? Hit me with anything. Love it. Love reading that shit on the Tiger. You can also download Anchor and leave me a voicemail. And we'll play that on the show too. Lovely. Wonderful. Check it out. All right, let's fucking move on into some Twitter trends. This first one is about Paul McCartney, who I actually like. I talk a lot of shit about the Beatles. I do not appreciate the Beatles or the music, but their solo careers were primo, dude. John Lennon, that Instant Karma, We All Shine On, fucking dope song. Love that song. Even his son there too, that Too Late for Goodbyes. And it's much too late for goodbyes. Wonderful. Love that jam. Paul McCartney too. Band on the Run, dude. How could you not like Band on the Run? That's like, that to me is like the best shit to ever come out of the Beatles or any Beatle affiliated anythings. Band on the Run, dude. It's like 4 songs in one. Amazing. Love that shit. And also Let It Be. How could you not like Let It Be? Let's be real here. Anyway, the Telegraph had a story about him, and they go, Sir Paul McCartney cuts a youthful figure. His mop top is luxuriant, and at 78, his vision remains as good as ever too. His secret for 2020 vision? Eye yoga. Sunglasses emoji. It has a growing fan base, but can eye yoga really help improve your sight? And they show my man looking dope, chilling out in flannel, just smiling. He kind of looks like an old ass Ellen DeGeneres. He looks like Martha Stewart if you squint. And eye yoga, dude? What are we doing here, man? I am a big fan of doing yoga. I think everybody should do yoga. It's fucking dope, man. Yoga just centers your morning. You're feeling good. You're stretched out, good for your body. It's a great warm-up. I warm up before I lift weights. I warm up with yoga. It just fucking makes me feel great. But eye yoga? You're going too far. You're going too far. You're going too far. That's nuts. Up next, 11 years ago today, Rodney James Dio passed away. Rest in peace, legend. That was James Hetfield. He retweeted that and showed a picture, or he tweeted that and showed a picture of him and Rodney James Dio. And fuck, Dio was sick, man. He was great in Rainbow. That's great. His solo career was great. The shit he did with Black Sabbath after Ozzy left, Heaven and Hell, amazing dude. Fucking love Dio. Classic voice. And he was also involved in that Tenacious D movie, which is the greatest rock movie of all time. Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny. He's like on a poster and he comes alive and sings this great song. Fucking Dio was awesome, dude. Go listen to Heaven and Hell, Black Sabbath. That album. Fucking title track, Heaven and Hell. Oof, fire. Rest in peace, legend. Indeed, man. Rodney James Dio. Amazing. We have a couple of vaccination things on this fucking Twitter trends, dude. I just kept on seeing wildness about the vaccination. You know, like, I got a vaccine because, like, if I was a single dude, if it was just me, I don't know if I would have got the vaccine. I honestly don't know. But my chick got offered the vaccine, and I wanted to, like, be like, well, like, if she's getting it, I'll get it. That's fine, you know, like just to let her know it's okay and safe. And, like, the kids, too, and everything, you know what I mean? Set a good example. So that's why I got vaccinated. It wasn't because of, like, media pressure or, like, whatever. And this guy, Scott Dworkin, at Funder, goes, waffles or French toast? So waffles and French toast were trending. He goes, waffles or French toast? You can only choose one. And then, please get vaccinated. Like, don't fucking put that on your tweets, dude. Fuck you. And French toast over waffles for sure. What are you guys thinking? There's a French toast you can make if you take a baguette and you cut it thick. Like, you cut it into like 3-inch long pieces and you stand them up in like a baking dish, like with big sides, and you fill the baking dish with heavy cream and eggs and sugar, and you fucking let that soak overnight. And then you take it out of the fridge, sprinkle your cinnamon and shit on top, and then you put it in the oven, in that baking dish, put it in the fucking oven, dude, and bake it. Oh my God. That's the best. That is the best French toast you'll ever have. It'll make you fucking cry. It's so good, dude. Thank me for it later. Put some blueberries on top of it, too. Don't be a savage, you know what I mean? When you have French toast like that, if you started making your French toast 12 hours ago, you got enough time to fucking make some good fucking blueberries. Like a nice fucking blueberry reduction or something. Anyway, moving on. New York Post had this hilarious thing they tweeted. They go, Oklahoma governor grills steaks under pro-vegan PETA billboard. And they got a picture of my man. He's got an apron and the most giant grill you've ever seen, with like fucking steaks and burgers and hot dogs all over it. And there's this big billboard that says, Oklahoma, home of meathead Governor Kevin Stitt. And my man just doesn't give a fuck, grilling meat right under it. He doesn't give two shits about what PETA has to say. That's awesome. That makes me laugh. And this is another vaccination one. This is another fucking vaccination thing here. That's ridiculous, dude. They're doing, like, in America, it's funny to see, like, what they're enticing people to get vaccinations with. Like McDonald's and, like, Krispy Kreme and shit. And then they have this mayor, New York City Mayor de Blasio, announced that Shake Shack will give free food to vaccinated New Yorkers. And then they got this crazy video of my man sitting there.
Free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries?
He's holding up French fries.
My man.
Sitting in front of the American flag.
A burger element to this?
On television.
Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This could be breakfast? Okay.
He's eating a cheeseburger.
I want you to look at this and think about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination.
Oh, That's his daily briefing. So my man's sitting there eating French fries and a cheeseburger, being like, smacking his fucking lips in front of the American flag and some other flags at a big desk. And they got they got that fucking person doing sign language in the top corner of that shit. What are you doing? Just fucking give people vaccines. We don't need the fucking cheeseburgers and shit, man. That's bullshit. What are you doing? If somebody doesn't want to fucking get a vaccine because they don't think it's safe, they're not going to fucking be like, oh, well, they're giving away a cheeseburger one time if you get a fucking vaccine. Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy. And then lastly, the tweet from the Iron Sheik, man. I love the Iron Sheik over here. He fucking makes me laugh. That guy's hilarious. He tweets in all caps. He goes, nobody wants to work anymore because you were a lazy, dumb son of a bitch. That's awesome. And I think that's in response to we don't want to work anymore or some shit like that was trending. Fucking hilarious. Love the Sheik, dude. Love the Sheik on the Twitter trends. And that's how it ends. That's how we're going to end it with the Iron Sheik. Let's get in some Tiger Mail, dude. Fucking Tiger Mail. Yes. As before mentioned, we got a great one from the mighty young Steve Jensen. If you want your music or your fucking anything featured on the Tiger, you can get at me. You know where to find me. I'm easy to find. Just punch in Peanut Butter Tiger. Send it in. We'll play it. And you know, I feel so fucking blessed, man. Getting dope voice messages and funny. Like Steve is always sending great voice messages and different mail. You know, great jokes, great dad jokes he sends in. But this was a fucking special message he sent me. This one was cool. Like, it's awesome. It's awesome to hear from artists, people that make music at like a high level. And it's just like, I feel like privileged to know this guy. He's so fucking dope, man. Love that cat. And love his music too. And he sent me this great little piece. And, you know, at first he goes, for your ears only. And I was like, yo, can I play that on Sunday's show? And he's like, go ahead, play it. Maybe say, hey, don't steal this. It's copywritten or whatever. And I was like, for sure, dude. So, like, you understand where he's coming from. Like, this guy's, like, fucking working all great tunes, like, sounding fucking primo, dude. And this is just such a blessing. I feel so happy to be able to play this on the podcast. And shouts out to my man, Steve Jensen, for sending me this great clip. Here it is. My man, the mighty, young Steve Jensen.
Hey everybody, it's Steve. I am turning on the keyboard here. So normally this would be in A440, but in this case what we're going to do is take that down. So it's this is a C. So there we are. It's a little bit lower. This is called City Girl Singing a Country Song. The whole idea of it is I want to make it sound like it's kind of, I got sunshine on a cloudy day. So it'd be this girl, she's a city girl, but city girl singing a country song. So she's a city girl, but wishes she could be in the country. Just to sit, it would go up from something like, never been to a farm, but it's nice. Also they say if something feels wrong, just a city girl trying to find my way home. Just a city girl singing a country song. And centered around the, whatever you call that, I got sunshine on a cloudy day. So that's going to use that line once so that I don't get sued. And it starts off like this. Told me Dynamics. Just a city girl singing a country song. Then one more. Ba 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 da da da. Ba ba da da da. Ba ba da 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 da. Let's get a musical break. And we want to go high. So we'll go. Dynamics. Build this part. Just a city girl singing a country song. Something like that. Yeah, something like that should be good. Pretty good, I think.
Pretty good, I think, indeed, man. Fuck, that was amazing, dude. Could you imagine being able to play piano like that? Oh, incredible. My God. You know, I just feel bad, like, mea culpa. I'm sorry, everybody, for for shitty podcast setup I have. I wish I could just take that file and put it right into the podcast thing. I couldn't figure out how to do it. I tried for literally an hour to get that fucking file over to the podcast and not have to play that from my microphone. So I'm sorry if that sounded bad. Like the recording, the sound quality. I'm sorry if that sounded bad. But Steve, man, that was incredible. Like, you know, he hits me up and he goes, up early. Aaron is heading over to New West and I'm home working on songs. Oh, how rough I have it. Then he sent me that, and then he goes, high voice song for a chick to sing, but needs work and strings, etc. Will redo this one. I have lousy technique on the piano. Ahaha. Dude, that was incredible. That part, like, you know, it started out like kind of hokey. You know what I mean? Like, it started out like, you know, you were messing around, you were playing around, but you could feel, like, I could feel when you were feeling it, when you're sitting there playing the piano, and when you really got into it, dude. It just, like, that song fucking gripped me. That was awesome. That piano was incredible. I couldn't imagine being able to sit down on a piano and making it sound like that. That's incredible. That was fucking awesome. So from the bottom of my heart over here at the Peanut Butter Tiger, Steve, thanks for sending that in. Hopefully I didn't insult you with the poor recording quality. I tried, dude. I tried to get that file right over. I couldn't. Tried my best. I'm not technical. You know, someday we're going to get a fucking producer in this motherfucker. You know, if cryptocurrency ever takes off, I'm going to fucking hire a producer. Or maybe Squarespace is going to hear the podcast. Maybe MeUndies is going to hear the podcast. Then all of a sudden I'll get all this fucking MeUndies money. Maybe I'll get Manscaped money. Shave my balls money. You know what I mean? And I'll get a studio and a fucking producer to put these things on the show properly. But until then, that was just fucking incredible. Thanks for sending that in, Steve. And then he's hilarious. Steve is my man. He sends me jokes after. He goes, in his later years, Charlie Brown would go on to be a good grief counselor. Good grief, that was a good one. Never rub tiger balm on a tiger. Don't ever rub it on his tiger bum. Never rub tiger balm on a tiger. If you do, you will be sorry, chum. New song? Yeah, that's a great. That would be a great song, dude. Ice cream vendor. Can I help you? Me. Yes, I just bought this tub of ice cream from you earlier today, and there's a cannonball and a bayonet in it. I ordered Neapolitan. Ice cream vendor. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Napoleon. You know, anytime, like, that fucks me up all the time. Anytime I talk about Neapolitan, I always say Neapolitan. And it always fucks me up. You know, I sound like an idiot after, like, when you call, like, a famous general an ice cream, you just sound like an idiot. You. Who was that on the phone? Me. My old bass player. What did he want? He just wanted to touch base. Me. Getting through customs can take forever with a Southern belle. Oh, why is that? Because she's always saying, I do declare. You. Remember when we had an idea for a book about the future called Ahead? Me. Yeah? Well, would you mind if I wrote it myself? No. You go right ahead. Primo jokes from the mighty young Steve Jensen. And yo, for real, that was like my favorite Tiger Mail I've ever got. Like that one, like, that's fucking dope, man. That piano in there, dude, that fucking piano. I couldn't imagine sitting down at a piano and making it go like dun 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 ba-da-ding, diddle-doo. Fucking amazing, dude. Love that shit. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for the great Tiger Mail. And that was it. All right, man. That does it for the show. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Make sure you rate and review this podcast on whatever listening platform you get. That goes a fucking long way, dude. Let's get some fucking reviews in for the podcast. Peanut Butter Tiger ain't going nowhere. We're doing this until it gets good. That's what's up, man. And this is good. We're on fucking fire, dude. The thrill from Martinsville. Come on now. Stop it. Have a blast while you last. All that shit, man. Not much to do now, but press play on a dope beat. Tell you guys I'm thinking about you. Hopefully you're out there eating your broccoli, doing your push-ups, taking your vitamins, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, doing yoga, lifting weights, telling people you love them because that's what the fuck is rad, dude. And if you want your music featured on the Peanut Butter Tiger cast, or you got wanderances, or you know what's good, or funny stories, or anything, you can get to me at Peanut Butter Tiger on Twitter, Peanut Butter Tiger on Instagram. Peanut Butter Tiger has a Facebook page, and EastVanDan88 at outlook.com. Everybody have a good one, eh?
Bird up.
Say bird up.
Bird up.
Bird up.
I don't know, man. What do you think about that?
Those guys are terrible.